Welcome back to Special Educators Resource Room podcast. I'm Jennifer from Positively Learning. I'm here to give you real talk solutions without the fluff because you already have enough on your plate. Today's episode is inspired by a real listener question, and maybe it will sound familiar to you too. If you've ever walked into a school and it felt like it was running on outdated systems or unclear expectations or just vibes from 1998, you are going to feel this one. You might be brand new to the building, or you're just trying to breathe some fresh air into a stuck in their ways team. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make it work without stepping on every toe in sight. I'm going to read the question, I'm paraphrasing and hiding the identity. Though I've been a special education teacher for blank number of years and a teacher for over 20 years, this is my first year in this new position. I have a wonderful paraprofessional and she has a strong relationship with many of the students. Problem is, we are in a small community and we are barely getting started on MTSS. So setting up screening, progress monitoring, putting in leveled supports, and using data. There are a lot of bad habits ingrained in the school from being so small and sheltered. Also, my paraprofessional is in class and has previously functioned as the teacher. I want to make this work, but I just don't have a clue where to start getting into more positive routines and expectations. I feel like whatever I do, I'm going to be stepping on toes big time. But if I don't do something, I'm going to be in for another year of struggle. Ooh, this is a tough one. And if you're listening to this right now and nodding your head, you're not alone. This is common. Small schools often operate like little families, which sounds nice until you're the new in-law. And I have to say, I really admire you reaching out with this question. It would be so easy to keep status quo, but you know that's not what's right for students. Let's get into it. Schools, even tiny ones with only a few teachers, run on systems. And the problem is sometimes those systems are invisible until you bump into them. You might be walking in thinking, okay, I'm going to teach, I'm going to support all students, and I will collaborate. And then you realize the paraprofessional was previously one of the main instructors. Admin might have no idea what data-driven instruction and intervention looks like. The general education team is like, wait a minute, do we have a special education teacher now? And the students and families, they're used to doing things the way it's always been. So step one is to acknowledge you have inherited an ecosystem. And ecosystems don't change just because we know that they should and we have good intentions. It's so tempting to try to walk in and adjust everything. But we want to observe before we overhaul. So let's treat it like a study. What routines are in place? What's working, even if it's messy? What's being assumed? And most importantly, what's missing? This teacher knows that it can't continue like this, but before speaking up, we want to make sure we're speaking from a place of clarity and not frustration. Next, let's identify your non-negotiables. This is where the shift will start. Ask yourself, what do I need in place to do my job well? Not what the school should have, not what the paraprofessional you're working with should know, just what do you need? These are the mini systems that are going to shift culture. They aren't flashy, they're not giant overhauls, but they're systems that quietly say, we're going to do things differently now. Maybe you're setting up a referral system that allows other teachers to flag students who may need additional academic or behavioral support with the data to back it up. Maybe you are sharing a basic IEP data tracker that takes 2 minutes a day, but can show real progress over time. You could implement a monthly or bi-weekly email summary to admin or a student support team, which I realize you're probably building from scratch, but you could outline the interventions that are in place, the progress being made, where support is still needed. A homeschool communication, a snapshot that goes home monthly and includes data, and a quick teacher note. You can build transparency and trust. Maybe it's setting up a shared intervention spreadsheet or Google form where other team members, including paraprofessionals, can log behavior, accommodations used, small wins. All of this becomes gold for upcoming meetings. These are just a few ideas. You might already have some in mind. Pick one or two of these systems that you can start implementing right away. Don't worry about perfection and don't wait for permission. Just start. These are small but mighty systems that speak for you. Your consistency is your leadership. Now, I want to share a quick story. We had a teacher join our team one year. We already had a pretty solid special education culture at our school. Systems were in place, routines were running. But this teacher came in and she brought her old habits with her. Now, this is tricky because I was actually friends with her. She's a very lovely person. But she kept sending me, the special education teacher, a Voxer all day, every day, asking me to come cover her class so that she could go to the bathroom, like during instruction time, while I was teaching my own small groups. And I was thinking, one, what does she think I'm doing all day? And two, am I just supposed to bring my whole class with me to cover this break? Now, everybody deserves a bathroom break. I get that. But this was a system issue because in her previous school, that was how they did things. There was no plan for coverage. So everyone would send the special education teacher a message to come cover the class on the fly. She wasn't being disrespectful, although in my mind, that's how I was interpreting it. She was just used to something that did not exist in our building. And that right there is what makes the situation so tricky. There's habits, but there's no shared expectations. And that's why this next part matters. We want to reset relationships without burning it all down. Maybe it's a paraprofessional or a co-teacher. It's not necessarily about ego. We're going to be talking about habits and history. So when you're ready to do a reset, we want to tackle it in 3 parts. Number 1, we want to acknowledge the value that everyone's bringing. In this case, this teacher could say to the paraprofessional she's working with, "You have such a strong relationship with students. It is clear how much they trust you." Number 2, we want to name the shift gently but clearly. Now that I'm stepping into this role, I'd love to work with you to create some shared routines so we're always on the same page. And number 3, we want to start with something collaborative. Maybe you sit down and you're going to plan out transitions together, or who's going to collect data on which student. Make it visible. You're not coming in and taking over. You're leading with clarity. Most effective change doesn't usually come from loud announcements. It comes from showing up consistently. In the example from the question, this paraprofessional is going to see that you have a system for logging communication, behavior, interventions. Students are following these routines, and progress monitoring is happening like clockwork. It's sending the message, this is someone I can trust. And trust is what smooths over all those awkward, tiptoey, culture clashing moments. A final thought on this listener's question. You do not have to fix the whole school. She said, I feel like whatever I do, I will be stepping on toes big time. But if I don't do something, I will be in for another year of struggle. You're absolutely right to want change, but you don't need to change everything to start feeling better in serving students. You need a system that works. You need to have one routine that's going to hold, and that one relationship that will shift. Start there. Let it ripple out. If this episode hit home, or if you're navigating a similar school cultural shift, I'd love to hear about it. You can leave a message anytime through the link in the show notes. And if you have a co-teaching paraprofessional situation that's a little too relatable, stay tuned. We have more episodes coming up this fall. I appreciate you tuning in and spending time with me. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm dying to ask, what'd you think? Be sure to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you never miss an episode.
You can find the show notes and links for everything mentioned in this episode at positivelylearningblog.com. See you next week for more special education solutions.